Hi, my name is Bob Bushy and I'm a systems engineer with EMC Corporation. And I'd like to talk to you today about the evolution of flash in storage arrays. Wikibon did a study late last year, that talks about the evolution of flash in storage arrays. And in this study, they distinctly call out 4 different generations of architecture. And I'd like to talk to you about these different generations and help you understand why architecture really matters when selecting an all-flash array. So if we go back to the beginning, that's when companies like EMC and IBM and Hitachi, we put a small amount of flash inside our existing hybrid storage arrays. In fact, EMC was the first company to do this back in 2008 with our Symmetrix DMX array. And with technology called fully automated storage tiering, or FAST, we were able to move the hottest chunks of data up to the flash tier and the colder chunks of data down to the mechanical spinning disk tiers. So this did solve a lot of the performance problems that customers were having, but it did not solve all the issues. For one, fast was not quite real-time. It was close, but it wasn't moving the data at real-time across these tiers. And at the time, flash was still very expensive, so you couldn't put a lot of flash in these arrays. But as time continued and flash decreased in price, that's when the next generation of architectures came out, and I'll call these the Gen2s. And this is companies like Nimble and Tintree and Tigile. They created these hybrid disk arrays based on a dual controller architecture where they put a lot of flash in front of a small amount of mechanical spinning disk. And through technology, they would load most of the active data set into flash and then move the colder data down to the mechanical spinning tiers over time. Now, this did solve more of the problems because you could load more of your active data set in flash, but it didn't solve all the problems. For one, these companies didn't have a lot of advanced data services. There were some, but again, not many. So as time continued on, that's when the next generation, the Gen 3 generation, are all flash array. This is the first time where companies like Texas Memory Systems, Violin, Pure Storage put all flash inside these arrays. There was no more mechanical spinning disk drives in these arrays. But again, they were based on a dual controller active-passive architecture, so they didn't scale very well. Now, they did offer a lot more advanced data services like dedupe and compression than provisioning. But I'm going to call this the generation of compromise, because if you enabled these advanced data services, some of these arrays actually got slower than mechanical spinning disk drives. So again, the generation of compromise. You could either have all performance, which you could get great performance out of an all-flash array, but as soon as you turned on some of the advanced data services, the performance dropped drastically. And that leads us up to the current generation, and I'll call this the Gen 4 generation of all-flash array architectures. And that's where EMC's Extreme I/O comes into play. Extreme I/O is a true, tightly coupled scale-out architecture. Today we scale out to 12 active controllers, and by the end of Q2, that number is going to jump to 16 active controllers. And with the technology that's in place, there's no reason that number won't continue to increase as CPUs get faster and faster. And all of our data services, our advanced data services, are always on and always in line with no performance degradation. And that's things like deduplication, compression, thin provisioning, advanced flash data protection, encryption, intelligent read-writable snapshots with no performance impact. Those are the kind of things you want to look for. So when you're looking for an all-flash array, architecture really does matter. Make sure that you look at the underlying architecture of the arrays you're studying. And again, if you're going to purchase an array, make sure that it's a Generation 4 architecture. So thanks for the time, and have a good day.